Sorry guys to bring you some doom and gloom, genuinely, so sorry, but I do think now that the He-Man live action movie is dead in the water. Now, this is like a really old article, isn't it? Like, I know, calm down, we're going to take a look at the more recent stuff, but I thought we would just recap on this briefly and then shuffle on and show you the kind of more recent stuff. Now, the reason why, you know, we've basically been hedging our bets that He-Man was going to be cancelled for a while. It's been in development hell for just forever. Then Netflix seemingly partnered up with, like, Mattel. And they're doing, like, this big Netflix Mattel universe thing that they want to do, which is great. Like, I've got nothing against any of that. But also, they had, you know, well, a He-Man movie was in the works. I believe it was at Sony. Yeah, it was at Sony. And that had been out the works for a long time. Then Netflix started to build a better, stronger relationship with Mattel. We still don't know whether, you know, Sony has like a licensing deal with, you know, the original rights holders, Mattel, whether they have to use it on time span or anything like this. But basically, one of the key players of the Sony movie, the He-Man film, was going to be Noah Centineo, who you probably hear that name and you go, I've got no, who the hell is that? Yep, I know, yeah, I completely agree. But he has now just been announced that, well, announced and confirmed, actually, ladies and gents, that he is going to be starring in the Black Adam film. Now, what does that kind of mean? Well, it's not out and out, oh no, definitely the He-Man movie's done. Like, of course it's not. But this is kind of playing, you know, this is playing rumour mill a little bit. But it's also, it's an educated guess, isn't it? Right? Like, how long does a movie take to be in production? Quite a while. You know, quite a long time. Remember, this one actually had an initial release date. It was going to be released March next year. It's nowhere near production yet. We don't know. I can't remember if we have a new release date for this film or not. This Black Adam film. Yeah, no, we do actually. July 2021. Oh no, that's Jungle Cruise. Sorry. When's this supposed to be releasing then? I don't know. I don't know when this is supposed to be releasing. But you can imagine it's going to be a lot sooner. Or at least around, at the very least, around a similar date that what this was going to be done next year, maybe the tail end of next year, so on and so forth, depending on what theatres do, of course. So the fact that we've now got the key player, Noah Centineo, signing up for a DC movie, and he's not playing a small role, right? He's playing, you know, a reasonably large role. He is playing Atom Smasher, who, not like a huge character in DC, definitely has his fans. And this is someone who's like an up-and-comer in terms of acting, right? Like, Noah Centineo is an up-and-comer actor. So he's playing this alongside Dwayne Johnson. If this does very well, he will be in more, no doubt, absolutely. He will be in more movies. But we still haven't heard anything about He-Man. Now, generally speaking, when an actor is signed up to a fairly large production, i.e. He-Man, I mean, it is a large production, ladies and gents. It's a pretty large production. And, you know, it's going to be releasing quite soon. They would have to get that moving. They would have to get it moving. They haven't got it moving. And then as a result of that, and also the fact that they've now lost their release date, right? So we don't have a release date for He-Man anymore. And then you start to see the lead, like the lead actor. Oh God, I look sunburnt. I am sunburnt. I've been driving all day. Then you see the lead actor buggering off and being signed up to more or other sort of high-profile productions. And this will be a very high-profile production. In fact, I would imagine that DC made him sign up to a few movies just to secure him in. I'd say he's done. I would say he is done. Now, of course, it's not me saying I don't want him, you know, that I want him to be done. I still want the He-Man movie to move forward. But then this throws out the other question. And I wish I had Andre from Midnight's Edge on here to discuss all of this, because me and him both have done some live streams together to talk about He-Man. This throws out the other question. Is this because Sony no longer has the rights to the Mattel He-Man franchise? Have they reverted back to Mattel? And as a result of that, will it then be handed over to Netflix? Because remember, we had a release date. We had then these rumours. Now these rumours here, okay, were like not unfounded at all. So we had, there's a rep here. A rep involved in a number of deals says that they have this backlog of films that isn't going to get made and released theatrically. After long seeing Netflix as the enemy, this person says studios are turning around and saying, let's join them because we can't beat them. Now that's to do with something which would be considered risky. Now I've long said I don't think He-Man's risky at all. I think you play up to the fact that it's like hyper masculine, and you're basically doing counter programming. Everything else is like namby-pamby boys out there now. We can't say boys will be boys, all this kind of crap. So if we had like a really toxically masculine film, it genuinely would do very well. I don't think this is a risk at all. But it's long been rumoured that they were going to be sending this over to them, along with some other Sony properties, in fact. And just to sort of throw it out there, Sony has been developing Masters of the Universe since 2007, perhaps making it that much less appealing to sell, given that the studio finally has a version that it wants to make. Now that's to say that Sony apparently had secured a version of the film that they want to push out there. But I would say that that's probably dead in the water as well, by the sounds of it. Now according to sources here, this is again the old article, Sony wants to bolster its bottom line, in part following a significant loss on the reboot Men in Black International. At an internal meeting in early October, sources say that Josh Greenstein, co-president of the group, raised concerns that the studio has spent too much on marketing, especially on titles that appeared to face headwinds leading up to release. Don't make shit films. That would be that, wouldn't it? That whoever thought that making a Men in Black reboot was going to be a good idea, seriously. But this is the thing, right? We saw it a lot with Universal. And then it led to rumours that Sony would then sell it on, especially because, Netflix had started to bolster out the Mattel universe, She-Ra, He-Man, so on and so forth. And then now we get Noah Centineo basically joining a massive franchise, huge franchise, the DC franchise. I think this is dead in the water as it stands with Sony, but then this could be good news if Mattel gives it to the right people at Netflix. Because remember, Netflix can be good, can be really, really bad. But if Mattel have got this partnership with Netflix and they've got the rights back, which they could have, that's just me speculating, FYI. It's literally me just speculating. But if they've managed to get the rights back and then they go to Netflix and say, hey, what do you want to do with this? We could get something really good. But I think currently, as it stands, just to wrap up this video, because I've kind of blabbered a little bit here, but just to wrap up the video, I think He-Man is dead at Sony. And I think this here tells us that, right? Noah Centineo, the lead in He-Man, the confirmed lead, is now buggered off over to DC. We also don't have a release date anymore. It's not going into production. Of all the films that you would start to hear about, moving forward and things like that, we've not heard anything. Now, I think it's probably because Mattel are trying to get it back off Sony or something along those lines and just give it off to Netflix. So, hopefully we'll still see a Masters of the Universe film. Give me horror Masters of the Universe. I'd love that. That'd be epic. But this particular news here, this was redundant. I didn't really care about this that much. But it's just the implications off the back end of it. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you think that a He-Man film can do well or not? Because to me, personally, I think it can do really, really well. It's not all doom and gloom. I genuinely think a He-Man film could do fantastic. I just think it needs to really embrace what it is. Embrace that masculinity a little bit. I'd love that. I think it'd be epic. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you stayed this long, please do hit like. It really does help the channel out. A lot of people have said they don't get notified anymore, or they haven't seen me in the suggested. It's actually because you don't click on the videos, just as a heads up. I've spoken to YouTube about that, I figured it all out. But anyway, thank you all so much. Take care.